and we'll get started with a discussion about where we've come so far and get some updates. Brandy and Janine, do you have anything that you need to share regarding the city and what you found where we're at right now recently with COVID? As far as projecting into the future? No, nothing?
Yeah, we're just, my directive is that we just continue with, if people put in applications, then we'll accept them and then we just wait. I do know that the mayor reached out to all of the event organizers and asked them where they stood with their events, knowing that we may not be entering into phase 3 for a little bit longer than anticipated. And so a handful of them canceled. I believe the McCormick race is going to be virtual, and then a couple of them are just holding out, hoping that that we can get there. I know that the Jolly Jingle Run, they have submitted their application. And at this point, I don't feel comfortable moving forward with processing that application until we know a little bit more right now. So I estimate probably probably September, October before we even start routing that and seeing what's going on. Let me see what else.
Brandy, I just saw an update today, and the numbers are not looking good at all for the state. What I'm hearing, just like you're saying, is that there may even be a challenge with starting the schools in the fall because of the numbers. So there's a huge impact with what's going on, and you know, I don't know how quickly we could turn this around, but there are areas where it's escalating and there's no sign at the moment of things calming down. So I was also advised to really be looking at an event where we cannot attract crowds. So that said, where does that leave us? But the trees, it's a lot of decorating then. It's going with the decorating. If I were to guess right now, I would say that probably the run isn't going to be able to take place, even with social distancing. But boy, we just don't know.
It could be a virtual run. Who knows? I mean, like I said, McCormick Woods, they said that they're gonna.
How do you do that, Brandy? How do you do that?
I've seen a couple where what they've done is, so you can do virtual runs now. That's been going on in the industry for, you know, a few years, at least that I'm aware of. So I would assume it would work the same way in that it's like a live event, either through Facebook or through YouTube or through Zoom. There's an organizer of some sort that is, you know, having everybody join, and you just have your phones and you run either on your machine yourself or in your own area. It's not in a, what do you call it, a route. It's in your own neighborhood. It's on your machine at home. It's, that's how I know of them. I'm sure there's probably other ways that people do them as well, but that's what I'm familiar with.
Okay, Sharon, do you have sound? Sharon?
No sound.
Oh, it's not even a mute, huh? Situation, there's just no sound. You know, it doesn't even look like she's just muted.
Did you push the button to connect to the audio through the computer? You have to manually do that when you join. You did that piece?
We've got a lip read.
USB.
Oh, there you go.
There.
Okay. I'm on a brand new computer, so this is the first time I've done a Zoom on it.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
Sharon, you're here. So
Yeah.
did you have something to, by the way, welcome Galaxy A10 guest. Do we know who this is? No?
Not unless it's Sandy Jennings on her phone.
Sandy, is it you?
I don't know. I was just going to say, though, the Yukon Do It did a virtual run because I saw Gloria Masters on Facebook where she did a 10K virtual and her husband did a 5K. So she would be a good one to reference to find out
Okay,
how to
for
go
Gloria,
about it.
she's in my Rotary
Yeah,
Club.
yeah,
I'll ask
yeah.
her. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how you do that, you guys. I don't know. But what that is, though, even though it's virtual, it doesn't really, there's not much for the public on the day of.
No, there isn't. It's just for the runners who like to run. You can't get in costume for that. Well, you could, because you can go run and then somebody records you running, however that works. But Gloria would be the best one to tell you.
Okay, I will definitely ask her about that virtual run. Okay,
Again, I'm not sure, I don't know if the Galaxy person that was on the phone when I mentioned that, you know, for the Jingle Jolly run, we probably wouldn't start processing that application until probably September, October, just because it's unknown. We just don't want to expend staff resources routing something and getting it, and then it doesn't come fruition. And we do communicate with the police department and public works and the mayor and the city council on the direction that we're getting. And right now we're just holding off on events that happen in honestly October, November, December right now.
so Brandy, that said, then what would be the point of a virtual run even applying for an event application?
You wouldn't, because you're not using any city property. It would just withdraw the application is all you're doing.
I see.
Yeah, and the McCormick piece, I think it's, hey, they're holding out, hoping that they can do a physical run, but if not, then they'll withdraw their application and do a virtual.
Sharon, what's happening with Fathoms then in September? Has that been?
Everything has been canceled at this point because there's no way we can social distance a parade. No way we can social distance fireworks. So unfortunately, and even our August event, we have canceled everything. If they require stage 4, we can't do it.
Oh, you guys, I just saw Bobby is on our Galaxy A10. That's Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hope it sounds like she's making progress and getting in. Hey, Bobby, keep doing this. I think you're getting closer. Yay, I'd love to hear from Bobby. Keep it up. We're almost here. So what we have so far is the decorated tree contest, which is no problem.
Okay.
We have the city decorating, we have the port decorating, and merchants probably, right, Sharon?
Pardon?
The merchants will decorate as usual.
I'm sure.
Bobby will give us more info in a minute when she's back on here.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can remember where I put that. I did receive a memo. Let me see if it mentioned anything about chimes and lights. So I know that POBSA has kind of gone in the direction of not gathering crowds, but getting people into the store. So for example, I would assume it's going to be mirroring after the, sorry, I'm just trying to find. So instead of, for example, instead of the Taste of Port Orchard restaurants coming and out on the waterfront, they go and taste, they're shifting their marketing efforts into, instead they're going to get as many South Kits Up restaurants to participate in a 3-day promotion, encouraging folks from inside and outside the community to go and participate in the food establishments for Taste of Port Orchard. For specials and discounts, and again, selfies for the social media and turn-in cards for ballot and voting for your favorite restaurant. So they plan on doing something similar for the Ladies' Night Out, as well as the Halloween Boo Bash, should they not be able to be in phase 4. So I would suspect that they're going to do the same thing for Chimes and Lights. They're going to create some sort of event to get people to take pictures and votes and come down during a span of time to participate in the activity. So I would assume that the tree festival would be the same way, you know, or I mean, not the tree festival, the decorating the tree contest type of thing. We may just have to span out the judging if there's more than, you know, a handful of people, or maybe every other tree can decorate, you know, we may have assigned decoration day so they're not all down there the same day type of thing decorating. that's just food for thought, but I know that's what POBSA is doing, thinking outside the box and getting people here, but not necessarily in large crowds.
My other concern would be the Santa and the sleigh, because if we're in stage 4, I know that Santa would not want to have children sitting on his lap or standing within a certain distance of him. So
We can't do that. We won't be able to do the Santa
that's what I'm
contact this year. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're doing our Santa breakfast. We haven't canceled. That's the only event we haven't canceled yet, is the Santa breakfast that we do on Thanksgiving weekend. But I've told Helene to contact Dennis Simpson, who is our Santa, and get his gut feel on it, because if we have to social distance, there's no reason to do the Santa breakfast, because kids want to see Santa. They want to sit on Santa's lap, and it's very disappointing to them. So knowing in advance they could not do that, why even have the event? Because they probably wouldn't come, and then we would be out the expense and go in the hole. I know that sounds negative, but I don't know how else we can work anything. I'm the pessimist. I'm trying to be really positive here.
Well, this event is very much hands-on, bring people together.
It is.
But the COVID culture is just the opposite. And I thought by now that we would have made a whole lot more progress and we'd be moving into the phase 4. But it's turning around, and there's more infections than ever. And to be responsible, I'm really hearing that we have to, through the end of the year, be thinking of not drawing people here and of not close contact.
Well, and especially choirs, you're not going to be able to have the choirs.
No. And you know what? I had a discussion with the mayor, and he's saying we cannot make any kind of commitments right now to advertising.
Yeah.
Or involving a lot of staff time, or really drawing up any kind of contracts. We just cannot do that. So, here we are again. Every month it sort of changes.
Yeah.
But what we do know is that the decorating can go a long way. And Brandy and Janine, if we could look into piping music, what if we had maybe a period of time when we could actually play music from City Hall? Is that something that would be allowed? Do you know?
Play through the Chimes piece. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and it wouldn't necessarily be Chimes music, but just playing a whole assortment of holiday music. Is that something that we could consider doing?
I think so. We have a Chimes request that anybody can, the council adopted, that any member of the public can request a song or a Chimes throughout the, certain times. So I don't see why the committee wouldn't be allowed to.
Then can we do that without incurring any costs? Is there something that we could put on that would go continually? Or do we have a noise ordinance, or what would be our limitation if we tried to do something like that? Maybe say certain noise. Yeah?
We are within the noise ordinance, so as long as you don't have it past 11 p.m., I think we're good.
Okay.
Where the cost would come into play is if there's certain musics that we don't have rights to, it'd be the cost to purchase that. But I can get together with Mike DeLine and see what kind of Christmas music themes, whatever that we have, and I think the work of the committee can tackle what the music plan would be of the evening. I think it's a low cost effective something that we already have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great idea.
Can I throw an idea? Can I throw an idea out there? What if we offered, I don't know how much work this could be, but maybe a dedication for songs, and perhaps a donation to a not-for-profit organization of their choice with I don't know whether this would be going on just the day of the event, but when certain songs were played over if it's through the speaker system, could it be dedicated to someone with something, obviously would be written up ahead of time and make sure it was appropriate. Is that something?
What you'd have to have then, Rita, is like an MC that would be leading out on all the music
that's
instead
true.
of just
So
a
it would,
TV person. And I
like a
think when we do
DJ.
things like that, that we get the city can't just accept donations. There's quite a complicated process that goes
Well,
on
if there
with.
could be a processing fee or something nominal, I don't know how many people would be wanting to get their thoughts out there through a song. I don't know, but it would require kind of a DJ or someone running it. Yeah.
Well, we can put that down as one of the thoughts on that. And also, but it sounds like we are not limited then to being able to pipe music. And if we had something going on.
Hey, how about Delilah?
Yeah, I know, right? Who knows? Maybe the day of. Let's put that down as something we should explore. That maybe the day of Chimes and Lights, we could have some kind of live thing going on. But see, what we don't want to do is attract crowds.
Right. It would have to be all handled through electronic communications.
Do we have any kind of virtual live thing that people could hear? We don't really have a cam or anything outside, do we?
City Hall?
The only one that I know of that we have is for the live pier, the one that's on the pier. I don't know how easy that would be to turn towards City Hall. But and Mike is the same person that's in charge of that task. So I think it'd be an easy ask to see, can they turn that camera for that day down to City Hall on the on the Bay Street side. I don't know.
Well, I think it sounds like we need to talk to Mike and find out what we can do from City Hall, especially given our limitations.
But it's an upgraded system, and it's my understanding you can play whatever song theme that you want, that we have the rights to play. It's a whole sound system. It's not just like our previous one where it only does chimes. It's a whole new world, I guess. So
you guys, what do you think about when would we play the music? Do you think like for the whole month of December, or what do you think? Certain hours of the day? Any thoughts on any of that?
I think that if you played it every day, I would love it. But then I listen to Christmas music year round sometimes. So.
And you live where you can hear it.
Yeah.
Could we do like a song at noon and then a song at 5, where before our chimes would play a chime song during those times? We would do like 2 songs.
So like we could do that during the month maybe, and then the day of Chimes and Lights, just play music all day long? Okay. Do you think that the people next to, I'll ask the neighbors.
Yeah. That might be a good idea.
What they think.
Yeah, get your neighbors.
Well, we can ask that and find out if there would be any issue, but wouldn't that be kind of fun? Just to have some music coming out of there? That would be way cool. And what are our limitations with like putting something up by the clock on the outside of the building, do you think? Like a Santa or a figurine or something like that? Is that really tricky?
Be a Mark Dorsey thing? I don't know.
We'll ask about. That'd be kind of fun too, decorating more on the City Hall. I mean, we have the whole City Hall decorated, but okay, so this is the kind of stuff that I think we're left with.
Yeah.
And another thing I was wondering, you guys, we talked about the boats. If we could have boats actually more out in the water during that day, some sort of a parade or just being out there for people to see from more of a distance. I don't know if that would work, or a boat parade. Again, we can't have people standing anywhere, but I don't know. It's getting trickier, don't you think?
Yes.
I don't know. I can't see the marching band working, no matter what they do, unless something really changes with the climate. I don't think that anything like that's going to work. And But we could have some of their music playing. You know, if they've got some recorded music, we could have that playing as part of the music that's being presented. So we could talk to Gary about that. And what about decorating in some other parts of the city as well? You know, I don't know. Does anyone have any great ideas?
Cindy, I missed what you were saying in the beginning. Are you still going to have the big tree out in front of City Hall?
Yes.
That
Yes.
will be lit. We just can't have the big crowd surrounding City Hall, obviously, because of
Right.
social distancing. So
Right.
at this point, the tree lighting is about the tree lighting and the music, and the trees down Main Street are pretty much it, as I'm
And
hearing.
and the boats. I think the decorated boats are no problem.
Yeah.
Whether they end up being in a boat parade or not. But having them out there where they could be more visible from many other areas for a period of time. I don't know if people would be up for that or not, but that's still a possibility.
Okay.
That's pretty much all we have right now, you guys. Those are the givens. Did you guys find out about insurance?
Yes. So insurance, so the city of Port Orchard is covered under the Festival of Chimes and Lights event. So whatever we put in our application essentially is covered.
Okay.
So where it would come into play is, so the city of Port Orchard lists all of the events that we're having, all the different activities that we're having, and the nonprofits are the ones that actually carry out that activity. So for example, the library has the puppet show or the cake decorating, or I know that they don't do that, but they have their activity. So what we would ask them to do is have their own insurance, because if somebody were in the library and something were to happen in the library, chances are, even though they're part of the Festival of Chimes and Lights event, our city insurance, if there was a claim against the city, we're going to the liability of the negligence of the library. So it's helpful to have the other organizations have their own insurance in case something happens within their area or their activity. So, but the city is covered for that day.
Do any of you know now, is the library open for people to just go in? Like, are they distanced? How is that working at the library?
I think it's curbside. I have a
Oh.
friend that dropped, she's been hanging onto these books and finally got to take them back. And then she picked up some more. I don't think she went into the library. I'm pretty sure she called and there was like walk up or drive up. You let them know and then they go out.
I see.
Unless that's changed in the last week. So.
Okay, I'm just breaking in for a second. I have a private message from Bobby. She's standing by, but she's not sure how to join, Brandy. Is there
I see her name there.
I see her name.
Can we help her get in here somehow?
What kind of device is she on? Is she on a phone or is she on a computer?
Bobby, can you hear us? It says Galaxy.
Audio. So she's probably on her phone. So she has to dial in that 1253 number.
Let me list that. Okay. Oh yeah. Let me put that in here. The 215-8782.
Yeah.
And then she's got to list our, she needs a Zoom ID, right?
Yes.
I have that here if you don't.
And there should have been some sort of question that asked her how she wanted to connect to audio. What was your issue, Sharon? How would you be able to resolve yours? Did you have to answer a question or did it just kick in?
I finally hit the right button.
I hit the audio through internet, but I'm on my tablet. So that's how I got the sound, and then hit the microphone. I
think she's able to see this. Somehow she's able to see this chat, the Zoom chat info. So she's like here, but not quite.
She just needs to get video then. Well, she's got video. She can see us.
Well, we don't see her.
No.
Connect with video.
Well, but you can turn your video off. I could connect in with or without video.
Okay, we'll see if she can read my message to connect with video. I sure would love to hear from her.
And then the 3 dots, there's a 3 dot at the top right screen, at least on my device. It should give her options to either connect, I'm hoping to connect to audio, or it's a weird language. What is it, to pin? What does it say? Start video, stop video, pin video.
Yeah.
Pin activates it. So if there's a pin audio, it activates the audio or the video. So see what our options are on there, the dot, dot, dot on the top right-hand corner of her screen.
Okay, I put, yeah?
On hers, it just says, let's see here, chat, rename, make host, remove, keeps going away, put in waiting room, and hide non-video participants.
Okay, so she has to do something on her end then, not us.
I see. So she has to get into there's just something that's keeping her from joining. I don't know if she's hearing us or not. But we put all that info there for her. Hopefully she can get in. Yeah, okay. Well, we've done as much as we can for the minute. We'll watch for her. But back to the tree, the lighting of the tree, music playing from the clock tower, the city hall being decorated, all of the decorations downtown. What could we do or ask citizens to do that would include more of the city? Do you have any ideas on, I mean, we have always focused this downtown and now people can't come here. So is there something that we could do maybe citywide, have some sort of thing that we encourage through social media? Sharon, Rita, you guys, any of
Is POPSA still planning to do the coloring contest? Because isn't that kind of through the library that they do that?
You know, I'm sorry that I think that they usually, I don't know how that works.
Okay.
But that's sent out, so they would get something coloring that they would do online and send it in, since they can't go to the library anymore. I don't know how Kathleen's gonna do events. I don't think she can. You know, I don't think there's anything.
I don't know how she can either.
I'm just going to throw this out because I'd like our court involved if at all possible. We started doing a story time reading with the court members, and we post it on Facebook, and we give a set time that one of our princesses is going to read a storybook to kids. And maybe that's something that we could incorporate into a virtual schedule, that the Fathoms royalty would be able to do something like that.
All the activities would be via Zoom link.
Yeah.
The schedule, so.
Well, they actually are on Facebook. They're doing it on Facebook for the story time. And then the kids just tune in to the Fathoms Facebook site and listen live to our princess read the story. And of course, they have to all be stories that are, what do you call it? Not where you own the story. They have to be stories that are allowed to be read to the public.
Public domain type thing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What about Santa reading a story?
Or the mayor. Yeah.
Where they can join in and have this, you know, set up their picture taken,
And doing a virtual event is going to really require, I think, some major getting the word out, because so many people are used to it being that first Saturday in December that a lot of people probably are just going to automatically migrate downtown between 4 and 5.
Well, we could maybe have a sign of some sort. Now, this is where maybe our budget could be used, a part of it. We're not going to spend a lot this year, clearly. A board that actually says tune into or Facebook, blah, 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 that gives more information, and have that out there a ways ahead of time.
What about the city street sign where you have the lighted street sign that says this road is closed between such and such an hour? and have that out 2 or 3 days ahead of the weekend, maybe, and
Or even before, yeah.
and maybe do something like that that would get the people's attentions as they're driving through town. I don't know if we could put one of those at a couple of different places when you come in off of Tremont, for example, maybe at the roundabout or something, somewhere in there that would advertise. Go to City Hall website and see what's available. Maybe
Mhm.
direct them to a website.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, so maybe, if the Chimes and Lights Day, this is starting to brew something. What about the Chimes and Lights Day, like you're saying, we actually have the lineup of whomever performing, or like the reading by Santa,
Right.
throughout the day, the virtual stuff. They mostly, I think the benefit of being near the chimes is going to be more towards the evening. If we do the tree lighting still at about 5:30, we could still do a tree lighting.
Oh yeah, you can have somebody record it on live. Somebody take their phone or their laptop and
The Facebook Live.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have it post the tree and wait for you can still have the honorary tree person do it, right?
Yep.
They're the only one that's going to be there, and then have a handful of people outside, social distancing piece, right? You can have maybe.
Well, we could even have Santa outside doing something, couldn't we? If Santa pulls up in the fire truck, we could actually have him stopping to engage more if we're doing something along those lines. Randy, you guys, would that be Zooming that we would use for that?
Yeah, you can Zoom. You can use. City does have a YouTube account. I don't know if you can go live on YouTube or not.
I don't.
Yeah, the city has a Zoom account, so somebody can access Zoom. That's the only way that I know of. Oh, we have a Facebook page too, so somebody should be able to go live on Facebook.
Yeah, you can go live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can too?
You have to have so many subscribers to do YouTube live. But,
okay, so that's something, this could be pretty fun.
yeah.
And if we had that reader board out there, we'd have to have, maybe there would be a library hour where Kathleen has some kind of event thing organized where she just has the people get their craft stuff from home. You're going to find this in your whatever.
And that's an idea, because anyone who works with the library and is renting books, getting books, dropping them off or whatever, obviously Kathleen has some kind of a major list that she either has a newsletter that goes out, she has an email that goes out, posts it on her website. She could post the schedule of what the Chimes and Lights Committee is doing and what the event's going to look like. And she could actually start that whisper campaign now. Look for some different things coming for Chimes and Lights.
Yeah, and if they're decorating a stocking contest and they don't have to have their own supplies, she can have it all ready. And if they're picking up a book, why can't they pick up a stocking? It just takes pre-planning for them to stop by the library or stop by City Hall and pick up their stockings to decorate.
And then just send the picture in of what it looks like.
Or you have somebody live decorating, showing you how to do it. Like a soda class or a whatever.
Could the pet parade, basically the pet costume contest, be the same thing where you have a whole screen of pets with the judges looking on?
You could do a pet parade probably on Zoom.
Well, we don't even need the parade part. We could just have a pet decorating contest.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Each of us would have our little pet right in our hand. Oh, isn't he so cute?
With the holiday fashions on the pets.
Yeah.
Have them do a trick, have them,
And that could be done by, Woodside could kind of still organize that. What I'm wanting to know is, how do we do this that we keep a running thing going for the city? And you're saying either Facebook or YouTube, or how do we do that where we have something going where there's control by the city? Say at 3 o'clock, the library gets to come in through Zoom or whatever and do their thing. How do we do that, Brandy?
I think as long as the city is setting up the Zoom account and the Zoom link, we can have control of that. So for example, example, myself, because it's my account, and
Yes.
you have a pre-published schedule. I go on at 10 in the morning, and Kathleen's going to join me at 10, and maybe it's 9:45. Kathleen and I get online, and then at 10 we go start letting people in and doing their thing, and she does her little hosting thing, and so I would just be more behind the scenes type of thing.
So, well, we would have to think of how that could work with the various ones so that we could actually have Santa present at the tree lighting or at City Hall. We could have a library thing. We could do the pet costume contest. We could do, I don't know that choirs are going to be able to record together because they're not supposed to be together.
The only thing that I've seen online is they're still doing choirs, but it's virtual. So again, I would log on, the choir teacher would log on, and all the students would do it from home.
Oh, I wonder how in the heck that works. That's hard.
Yeah.
Hard to sync that together.
I've seen some online, and it's beautiful. It's amazing the amount of sound that comes through when you perform through Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
There's a David Pogue, P-O-G-U-E. I haven't looked him up yet, but he is doing a 17,000 virtual choir from around the world. And the song that they're singing is Sing Gently as One. He wrote the song, and he's got them from around the world. They had to audition, and then he has technicians that once he auditions them, he sends them the music, they sing it, and then they piece it all together. And I haven't seen when they're going to debut it yet, but 17,000 voices.
That is cool.
Practice for sure, but they have the ability to do it. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? Tune in at 5:15 and listen to the Sydney choir, or whatever.
Yeah.
Doable.
And also, would we have any capability, or could we get it priced to have a large screen someplace outside City Hall, or showing through somehow that we could have this feed going on that would be visible from City Hall too, in addition to the sound? Is there any way?
How are you going to keep everybody from wanting to go watch that screen, though?
Yeah, they're all going to want to come downtown.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I would.
People are weird little creatures in this day and age, and you're still going to get people who are going to disobey the rules regardless. It's really difficult.
Yeah, it's sad. But...
yeah, it's sad.
Or we could project it onto a cloud, huh? Yeah. Right up there.
Yeah.
So
you need to hang a big angel over City Hall with the signs that said, "Please bless us."
All right. Well, you know what? This is really shaping into something that seems very doable. These virtual things lining up a scheduled kind of program that happens the day of Chimes and Lights with a tree lighting that people can see, like you were saying, to be out there actually filming it or having it all show up. Tree lighter is still a possibility. Anything that we're keeping separate like that, a message from the mayor, welcoming everybody and wishing everybody happy holidays. The library craft hour, wonderful, all geared towards it.
You can do a movie.
That could be late night with the popcorn. You know what you do is you get your stuff together and it continues. And we would have to be careful about, like you're saying,
the legal rights on that piece.
Copyrights and all those things. And maybe a virtual run where you have updates on what's going on with that. It's a lot of stuff to organize in a little bit of time, but if we kind of make use of what we already had been doing, and the idea of choirs, we've got to hear what that sounds like and find out if there's any organization out there that's been working with that in our town that could actually be skilled enough at this time to present. Yeah. I know in our Rotary meeting, it doesn't work because when we're doing the Pledge of Allegiance, it's blah, 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 it doesn't work. I I don't know how they're getting these kids to sing, but
Yeah, you just have one person at a time do it. Another thought that I had in talking about the choirs, if you set up a schedule
yeah,
and say every 10 minutes, you could do an all-day Zoom, I guess, but whatever time frame for the choirs to sing.
we usually allow 40 minutes.
And it could be just one individual from the church, and you've got a 3-minute song from here, a 3-minute song from here, and they just keep going and doing individual songs if necessary. Or you've got, like my church, they're spaced out, they all wear masks, but they still have their whole band on stage. So you could have the churches in there, or the choirs, not necessarily the choirs, but their worship teams inside with one person singing some kind of a song, because I think that would work. And they just, I don't know how they're on Facebook when we watch it. And so whether or not we could put them on Zoom, I don't know. It'd be someone who's really tech savvy, and that's not me.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing that comes to mind when you're talking about that is we would have no oversight, and we have to be really careful about the rules that we follow as a city.
Right.
And when it's a choir and that's already prearranged, then we have a better idea of what's going on. But you know what? I mean, I'm not going to kibosh anything. I think individuals, I like the idea better of a group, including more people, which is what we were always trying to do with the kids, because, or I'm not saying kids loosely, because we've got choirs that aren't just children, but it brings so many people together, and then it brings their friends and their grandparents and families and whatever, so that we have more people listening in. But I think we can do this. I think we can work with our lists of the groups we worked with before and see if they would want to try doing that and how skilled they could get. They could be practicing now to figure that out.
And what about the performing arts people? Could they do a 15-minute skit, a little Christmas skit?
Or the dance, the dance gallery?
That would be a good one too.
Remember how the dance gallery always did something for us?
Yep. You can have their Christmas recital through there.
Right, but they'd have to be pretty small, and maybe,
yeah,
I don't know if we would end up having so many people wanting to do something that we'd have to limit it, or if we're going to have to seek people to do it. Usually, like I said, in the past with the schedules, the choirs were allowed 40 minutes, and then there was a period of time where they switched in between, and then they would go again and get going again. And I think they usually did about 3 songs in that period of time.
Question that I think we need to also think about is we're expecting them to watch this on their computer, on their phone, on their laptop or something. And how much time are they going to want to spend watching, because they're used to coming and doing? And will they be turned off? I guess I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Would they be turned off because, oh, I've got to watch it all on TV?
Sandy!
There's Sandy.
Sorry, I just now remembered.
Oh, Sandy, welcome. Yes.
Let me get my minutes. I mean,
Well, that was just going through my mind a minute ago about,
you know
we're
what?
expecting them to be on their computer watching all of this, and I don't think that's going to happen in reality.
No. Well, I think what we do, though, is that's why we would publish a schedule, and we would allow as many organizations as possible, really zeroing in on children and local volunteer organizations that are already engaged, to try to figure out time slots, because then their friends and whatever could zoom in and during those periods of time. And I agree with you. I certainly wouldn't be sitting in front of a computer all day.
Well, say you've got at 1 o'clock, we're going to have 3 groups singing. At 3 o'clock, we're going to display the coloring contest winners. At 4 o'clock, to where it breaks it up and they're not having to sit in front of it all day long.
Right.
Well, and I think some people, it's the same as or when they come in person too. Sometimes they come down there for an hour for tree lighting.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
Sometimes they come down there just for Santa. Sometimes they come down just to shop. So
exactly.
I think it's going to be the same way as, there's going to be some people that's going to turn on their computer and do every single one. And there's some that's going to look at the schedule and go, perfect, I'm going to make time for these these slots.
Yeah,
The only
you
thing
got
I
it.
have to look into, and I'll let you know at the next meeting, is what our limit number is. I think we're only allowed, 500.
500?
I think
One
that's
time, that's probably not a big issue, I don't think.
right. I mean, that's a great number, right? And if we can hit
Yeah.
500, that's great. But I'll just double check what our limited participant number is via Zoom. But I think
Okay.
Facebook, I don't think you have a number. I think if you do it Facebook, you can just have, you know, whoever joins the Facebook, because what it is, it's your live feed on your Facebook page, and
Right.
people can start watching it that way. Yeah, that might be an option as well. Or you do it simultaneously, so you're displaying what's live on Facebook, so people can, you know, come and go as they please, and then Zoom, they physically have to connect and watch. So you have two avenues displayed simultaneously for each other. So, but that's just
Sandy, just to catch you up real quick in a nutshell,
Yeah.
we are probably going to be limiting crowds way in through December, that we are not probably going to be in a place where we can have events and have this many people together. So we've been brainstorming about a virtual kind of thing where we literally have the decorations downtown. The chimes are playing, the clock tower is playing music pretty regularly all day long. And also we've got some kind of schedule where people could go to something like this, a Zoom or Facebook or YouTube, and see what's going on, whether it be a pet costume contest, the library craft hour, the choirs singing or whatever, or the storybook, you know, books being read, all of that. So that's where we're at right now, brainstorming about that. There's not that many things we can actually have down there other than decorations, other than like the boats. And we're going to have the tree decorating still. We'll have the big city hall tree. But that's where we're at right now, brainstorming.
Okay. Sorry, I'm late. I was like sitting in there relaxing. I'm like, oh no.
Well, good. At least you made it. That's really good. And we don't know about the jingle run. We don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really liking that idea. And Randy, so you would have to be at City Hall or someone at City Hall that day to help get that programming, to get that to work, for people to sign in to perform or whatever it is, right?
I can do it from home. I can just bring my city laptop and do it from home. I don't even have to be at City Hall.
Right.
Okay.
For one piece of it, and then the other,
Yeah.
piece, if you want somebody there physically video cameraing the
tree lighting.
that would be something a little bit different, but yeah.
Well, I like that. And you guys think that that would not be a problem? Especially Janine, you could get that on social media, and we could get that out on even the Port Orchard Facebook page, whatever. Advertising a schedule and what we're thinking of doing.
And we'll go into the utility billing statements like we do every year.
Yeah.
The schedule is going to be Zoom links. You're still going to have the times and the events, and it's just going to be not in person. It's just going to be online. I'm assuming we can still do it the same way.
Right.
The hard part is for the businesses downtown, because they're not going to reap any benefit from any of the people that would normally come to town. So maybe there's a possibility that we could get the restaurants to do some kind of a jingle bell menu takeout, and they could call in an order, go down, pick it up, and do something special with the restaurants just to include them in that day's events.
It'd be interesting to see what POBSA's got planned.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish Bobby's probably listening to every word we're saying, and she has so much to offer. And Bobby, we wish you were here telling us. I'll connect with you, Bobby, if you're hearing this in the next week, to find out what POBSA is doing, because I know you're working on a lot of ideas that we can. Yeah, we just have to be careful about drawing people downtown. I don't know. It's too early to know that, isn't it?
Keeps changing.
Well, are you saying the businesses, are you thinking the businesses will be closed again? If the businesses are open, there will be some people downtown.
Yeah, the businesses will be open, I think.
So like what Sharon, I think the ones that are open now, we're still with a limited, if they can still be open, they'll be open. So maybe there would be some way, you know, to encourage them, like you said, to.
Unless they go back and they're not, and if we
Unless they
don't
go
go
back.
forward into phase 3 even.
Well, that phase 3 is going to be a while, looks like. So the governor made another announcement to this
Today?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just know he said, my husband told me he listened, that he's not moving anyone forward right now.
No, we're not moving forward with phase 3. And if we did, the number was changed from 50 to 10.
Right.
Yeah, it was changed already. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
And family gatherings to a limit of 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an
Good
interesting
luck on
number.
that.
Interesting number, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Good. We can be grateful for the fact that we have Zoom and we have Facebook Live, because if we didn't have a few of those things,
Right.
I don't know how we could even communicate with the community.
Well, and when I do see somebody, I break all the rules. I give them a hug.
Do you?
If I saw you coming, Sharon, I might do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a hugger, but man, the transmission rate really is going up now. So.
Gosh, the numbers are so, they're stifling. I can't believe this one last week.
Mm-hmm. And what's confusing to the medical people, because at the beginning they told us warm weather would help stop it.
Right. Doesn't do it.
Hey, Brandy.
Well, there's no for sure's. Everything's an if. It's all fluid, so fluid.
Brandy, you work at City Hall. Is that the deal? You work at City Hall. Rita, where are you from, Rita?
I'm Port Orchard. I'm semi-retired.
Okay.
I just volunteer around.
Awesome. I'm just trying to get everybody straight. And I know
Yeah.
Bobby. I know Bobby.
Yeah. No.
And Sharon.
But I think that this is really seeming like a good thing. And it goes back to including the groups. They could be practicing, like you're saying, or Brandy or Sharon, whomever heard that it sounds beautiful. I've yet to hear that. So that would be very fun to have them performing and scheduling. And it wouldn't need to be all the music bunched together. There could be breaks between to allow for the pets and whatever. I think that sounds really cool. And if there's any way that we can think to include the rest of the city with maybe some decorating or something, or push the neighborhood decorating contest a little bit more, I don't know.
The city does the community decorating, don't they? Aren't they responsible for judging on that?
We have a crew that did well. Actually, it was actually mostly just us, the council, that drove around. But this year we were going to switch things around and just have people submit photos of their places, right, Brandy?
I think that's what I heard. Yeah.
Well, that'd be good.
Because it's not, I think the concern was that there's only a certain amount of time in the evening, and they just, to do it right, they don't have time to visit every single neighborhood. And so they were going to try something different to get more of a verse housing and businesses decorating.
And we could actually maybe even be showing that day during certain intervals to encourage people to drive by some of these houses in these neighborhoods. I mean, maybe just have a breakdown of the areas and some of the houses that submitted photos, because everybody would be in cars. So as far as anything, to get more people involved that way, I'm not sure. But we've got just a little bit of time. A lot of ideas with an environment that changes weekly. But I'm liking this. So if you guys, me and Brandy, could work on the practicality of the broadcast idea,
Yeah, I'll have Janine send an email to Public Works and kind of give them a rundown of what we discussed today to see what they're willing to do. And, you know, like I said, I can help whatever I can through Zoom and Facebook of what I know and my experience. But yeah, see what we can gather up and let you know next month.
And as far as legalities, do we need to have, say, I suppose the choirs already do this, but do choirs have to have copyrights on the music they sing?
I would assume so.
Some kind of copyright permission, or how does that work? I don't know that.
You know
I just know.
They normally do, like churches have, they buy a license every year.
Okay.
What they do, I know that churches do. I'm sure the schools have the same thing.
Yeah. Because I know that we have to also be careful about what we play.
And I know Janice, she used to work, I think is she the superintendent, what is she, the assistant superintendent, Janice?
She's one of the vice principals, yeah.
Vice principal, okay, so she might know.
Okay.
You know, she's been on the committee or participated, I thought, in the past.
We just want to kind of make sure we're doing the right thing. So, okay, I like this idea very much. And I do think it is a good idea to have an honorary tree lighter, even if that's the only person downtown. That's fun.
But we would have our Fathoms Court down there. They can social distance and they could still be around the tree and be part of the overall beauty side of it anyway.
I like that, Sharon. We'll tell Helene, yep, let's try to work the court in, especially for that tree lighting, because it's our tradition.
Yeah.
To have the court there and being involved in things. The tree lighter, the court, the mayor.
And the other thing I would throw out going forward to next year is that we keep the same theme, a merry musical Christmas, and just keep the same theme for next year, because I really like the theme, and maybe we can bring all the music back to town again.
I'd love that too. I would love that. Yeah, I don't think there's any problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is sounding good. So let's just, I will talk to Kathleen. Kathleen, actually, well, Sandy, do you have connections with most of the choirs?
Just through school.
Okay. Okay. Kathleen traditionally has helped out so much with that.
We don't know what the schools are going to look like. We don't even know what the choirs are going to look like yet. Now, you know that the superintendent of South Kitsap put out a plan, and then the school board meeting is this Wednesday night.
Okay.
And so he's presenting it to the school board. It's a flex plan. Families have choices between a flex plan and a totally online, South Kitsap Online Academy. The flex plan is students go 2 days a week, online 3 days. The online, obviously the full-time online is 5 days. If the school shuts down again, then all the flex plans will be put on full-time online. So that's where they're at, and the school board meets, he's going to present that to the school board Wednesday night.
Sandy, do you know anything about elementary schools? That's a high school plan, right?
No, that's
district-wide
plan.
Oh, that's all the schools, elementary through high school?
Elementary, elementary is a little different.
Yeah.
Elementary, kindergartners and first graders are going to go 4 days a week. Now, I don't know how they're going to do that, knowing how little classrooms we have. I don't know how they're doing it, but their plan is that kindergartners and first graders are going to go 4 days a week because their learning capabilities, they need more consistency and hands-on. And so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's crazy. It's all crazy, but they're doing their best. They're doing their best with what they have to work with. So that's what's planned. But the flex, the 2 day flex and the online full time is the whole district, from what I understand.
Okay.
But Wednesday night we'll know more, I guess.
Okay. Well, the next month's meeting will be pretty crucial for kind of really getting this moving in that direction. Janine, how are we doing for, we got a little entertainment going on here. How many trees have we sold?
My check's going in the mail tomorrow.
Count hers.
Numbers really quick. I can
Okay.
right now.
So Optimus should have already sent a check, hopefully.
Let's see here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13.
Okay, that's probably a good time to start really promoting, huh? 13 sold. Yeah, we should probably, it's July, we're almost into August. We can really start promoting those quite a bit. So we can do that through Facebook and the list that we had before
Yes.
of people who sponsored.
Definitely.
And we're still doing the $50. We'll see what happens, how many we have in August, and see if we need to be more aggressive about that. Maybe we can get that word out again to POPSA. Bobby, if you're hearing us, we need to get it out.
Mhm.
But, and we can talk to Woodside about this idea of the pet contest. They could be promoting that, just like they would do their pet parade. And she can be in charge of whatever happens, the getting some of the word out that they do on their Facebook and everything else. And we can just start working on our Chimes and Lights Facebook page for 2020 and getting some of these ideas up there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And just start getting this word out. This is what we're doing. I'll mention it tomorrow night at the council meeting, and they're not putting us down, right? We're going to still have a very fun time.
I love your attitude. You guys have a great attitude.
You have to. You go crazy otherwise.
You have to laugh, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll talk about a Santa that can be down there for the tree lighting, and probably out there with us, social distance, to ho 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 and welcome everybody. And we'll talk about,
maybe we could bring Santa in on our Fathoms float so it could be seen.
Yeah.
that's a thought, depending what the weather is, right?
Yeah, we have a tiki bar on it with the octopus as the bartender.
A tiki bar? Okay.
Yeah.
This is real Christmassy.
Yeah, really.
So let's see. Tiki bar Christmas.
But it's very lit up, and all this, music that we have, all the lights blink to the beat of the music. It's really cool. Larry has done an absolutely beautiful job for his first float he's ever built for.
So can Larry put Christmas music to it, and we could put hats on all the mermaids and such?
We very possibly could.
Well, why don't you explore that?
I've got my board meeting tonight at 6, and so I can talk about it. But the float is beautiful when it's lit up at night. It's all kind of a beach theme, and the tiki bar, it's very lit up. He's done a beautiful job on the float.
Well, is that something that can be driven on the city streets?
Yeah. It's what we drive in the parade.
Right.
We're
Okay.
actually wanting to do a, quote, pop-up parade where we just have the court in convertibles and our float, and we drive it around town as soon as we're into phase 3.
Well, maybe we could do something like that in the neighborhoods during the day on Chimes and Lights and say, guess where?
He would need, it would need a police escort in front and in back.
Oh, there we go.
Does it have music? Are you playing Merrily Clicky Maka? As you're at your tiki bar?
He could put whatever kind of music we give him. Yeah.
Does it have to be our police escort, or can it be?
Well, it would need to be a car in the front, like a flagger in the front and a flagger in the back, just so that we're protected.
Brandy, can we do that without using actual police because of the cost?
I don't know. I can find out.
Why don't we find that out? It can be very expensive if we have to use our police, and that's 2 officers, and that can be quite a lot in one day. But if we can do some other way of
Yeah, maybe they just need to have a,
Like a flight car, you know?
yeah, or like a, size overload, where they have to follow.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they just
Right.
have to have that permit. I don't know, but I will find out for you.
Would Fathoms be willing, do you think, during the entire day to show up different places? Maybe?
I'll run it by the board and see what they're doing.
That'd be pretty fun. Where are you going to see the
that would be very good PR for the areas that feel they're left out of because they're not downtown. You know, the little shopping centers,
Yeah.
if they just kind of made it around.
Yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do, but we were waiting for a date. And when we got into phase 3, then we could, because we talked about driving it down through town, out Bethel to Fred Meyer area, up Jackson, back around by Safeway, come back through town and hit the main streets is what we wanted to do, just so people could see.
That's a good
Adams
idea.
is still alive and well, guys. And here's our beautiful court.
Right, and you all could have Santa hats on or whatever it was that took it. Yeah, I'm liking this. Since
Okay.
it's already made. Okay, well, let's explore that too.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground and it's sounding very good. So we're not gonna give up this event. And as far as advertising, we'll work on that. We'll see if we can come up with some kind of plan with maybe some smaller type ads to get a little frequency out there. We don't want to spend a fortune, and I've already promised the mayor that we wouldn't move too quickly on this because of the obvious.
There's lots of major websites, Port Orchard Positive, the Chamber of Commerce, the POPSA Group, the Fathoms website. We can post it on a lot of websites to get it covered. Without
That would be
costing
very
too
cool.
much.
Okay. Well, that sounds really good. Janine will have to do a lot of work over on the website, but she's already been at it. You guys, it's a really good time to take a peek at the work that City Hall has been doing, in particular Janine's specialty has been updating that website, and it's really amazing. Looks so nice.
Yeah.
So we'll get the word out, and I think it wouldn't hurt for us to, especially as we get more information for Chimes and Lights, get this forwarded to different groups and get people signed on with their interest and involvement. That's another thing it's fun to see is we'll say that groups that are participating on our site, we'll actually have a listing of who's going to be involved with a schedule of the virtual happenings and then the live coverage with the tree lighting at 5:30. So, and we'll talk to Kathy Garcia and Kathleen about the involvement of the port and the library, because I do think a children's hour on the virtual would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, so, and I don't know that they're going to be able to have kids in at the library. I kind of doubt it. So, all right. Well, anything else anyone wants to add?
Sorry, I was late, girls. Sorry.
That's fine.
Lashes.
Yeah, we've got to let these ladies go home. So let's adjourn the meeting for today and just keep exploring the possibilities. But I think that the online thing is the way to go. So thank you everybody for being here, and Bobby will be in touch with you this week.
Bobby, we love you.
We do. We missed you. We see you there. All right. And Larry can come back in the house now. Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.